Welcome back. You're still watching the conversation coming to you from TV360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name remains Nasina Kujimi, and I say with me in the studio Richard Adeyinka Emmanuel, CEO, Data Home Research and Communications Limited. Richie, thank you for being with us today on the program. Yes, we want to look at the latest idea that is being mulled by the Lagos state government with regards to quarterly and monthly rents. You know, in 2011, we had a Lagos State Rent Edict that tends to, curtail the sharp practices, the exploitation of tenants by landlords and agents. And even some years back, the Lagos State government even established an agency in that regard. Yes, and I'm also aware that during the Mobolaji Johnson tenure as the military administrator of Lagos State, I think that should be in the 70s. We had the Lagos State Rent Edict. Because the acrimony, the crisis bedeviling the housing sector is something that requires every stakeholder to be present for us to rub minds. The landlords have their faults. The agents also have their own excesses, including tenants.
Yes. Government.
Yes. So because when government says she's going to, talk to landlords or she's going to make a law to peg the rents so that landlords will not collect maybe more than a year's rent or 6 months from tenants. Yes, it's a good one, but I believe strongly that such a law should not be, we should not apply force. It should be more of persuasion. Because why am I saying this is because, look at, for example, when the Federal Road Safety started this advocacy about the use of seat belts, if they had gone the way they wanted to go and they had not yielded to right thinking, admonition. Now, by the time I get into my car,
it has become
a driving culture because it's for my own safety, not for anybody else.
So it's a culture.
So when we are talking about this rent of a thing, as much as I agree that we should be our brother's keeper, landlords should not assume that rent is what will take them to heaven.
Now, the problem now is, I usually love the idea that before you solve a problem, you must first of all diagnose the issue before you say, okay, this is what
these are the solutions.
Now, is it yearly rent that is a problem?
Some
of tenants in Lagos.
It's not about yearly rent. Some landlords will collect 2 years rent.
Yes.
They will collect agency fee. They will collect agreements, caution fee, damages, and whatever fees.
Through agents.
I've seen somebody who said he came into an accommodation at 700,000 naira for a year. The following year, the landlord says it's 2 million naira.
Yes. My own, I've received a notice of 1 million naira increment.
How do you rationalize that? And under the law, there's a percentage increment allowed.
So lawyers, now the lawyer who should know the law wrote and signed that notice to me. One fair swoop. First, I think some 4 years ago, added 500. That's 2021. Then 2025, added
1 million.
1 million. I've not responded to the letter. It is still there because I still have some
my office also went through that same route. When we got into the apartment, it was a 3-bedroom flat. We paid 1.2 million with other charges, And so at times they will tell you those charges are refundable.
It's not refundable. You have paid. It has gone.
So
and sometimes all those charges even equal
your rent. That's the problem. The greatest problem a lot of people have about taking up accommodation these days is that when you look at your rent and the
what you will pay
and
agents,
the agents
if you are
and everything,
moving and all.
you'll be like, what?
And greedy businessmen have entered into the space. Government needs to do more. It is not really about
the tenure.
1 year, or that is not for me. I will even prefer to pay a year.
No,
in
but
order
Richard,
to have
Richard,
freedom.
like Yoruba people say that what is facing one man
Is backing another
What
person.
you are saying, I know of some places where tenants have complained that I'm paying, I'm a yearly tenancy, I have a yearly tenancy agreement with my landlord. And lo and behold, my landlord gave me a quick notice that I should leave the house within 7 days. And we have also seen situations in some places where landlords, when they give you a room, maybe for a year or whatever, the accommodation for a year, at the end of 1 year, they will tell you to quit.
See, government
Just because they want to collect those
another
charges again.
And lawyers, you know, the amazing thing is that if you are talking about the illiterate boys around who have turned themselves to agents, who are looking and all, but you have now discovered that lawyers who should know the law, who should even counsel their clients better, they are following in the footsteps of the touts that are serving as agents. That is the tragedy of it. See, our real estate, especially in Lagos, and the current practice has national security implication. I will give you an example. Brass LNG, when it was functioning, the building he occupied at the intersection of Karimu Kotun and Sanusi Fafunwa,
On Adeola Deku.
that building is owned by a Ghanaian who is not living in Nigeria, who is in Accra.
Yeah.
Equivalent, before President Buhari came, they were paying equivalent of 400 million per annum. That 400 million, I think when President Buhari came, the dollar went up.
Okay, the rate of
The dollar to naira now went up. Now, no problem. Still 400 million. We will convert the 400 million to dollars and we'll pay you. The man said no, that the dollar equivalent
is what
of that foreign is what he will collect. And that dollar equivalent doubled the 400 million. Nigerian company, Brass LNG. I'm familiar with the case.
I remember that case.
A Ghanaian had to eject a Nigerian company out of that building.
On Nigerian soil.
On Nigerian soil. They had to move to before the Falomo Bridge, close to the registry.
Okay, the Ikoyi registry.
The Ikoyi registry. So what I'm saying is that this practice has implication across board. Yes, you have illicit money and illegal money or anyhow money coming into the system. Boys that are renting, yahoo boys, they don't care. A room self-contained, they are ready to pay 2 million, 3 million because free money is coming. You have foreigners who also want to live here and doing outsourcing job elsewhere. So if care is not taken, especially in Lagos, it will get to a point where Lagos will not even see people to run his election because what you will have are the foreigners who do not have and when I say foreigners, it will even include non-indigenous who have no stake whatsoever, who will not even come out to vote, or if they want to vote, they will even vote against because the people who have stakes, they are now in Mowe, they are now in Ifo, they are now in Abeokuta, they are in Ibadan.
Well, Richard.
So government must take decisive. It is not only about yearly rent or biannual. There are
other issues. There are other issues. The housing
that
problem.
Government must tackle.
I agree with you absolutely, because there are lots of issues around. That is why, as laudable as this initiative is from the Lagos State government, there's need for us to have a stakeholders engagement so that we'll have a robust
Yeah.
discussion around it. Then we can put in place proper legislation that will guide everybody.
The
Well, ladies
regulation.
and gentlemen, that is how far I want to go on the conversation today. We've had a beautiful conversation. Till we come your way again next time, please continue to watch the conversation come to you from TV360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. Have a great day. Bye-bye.